Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome back to Ultimate Naval Dreadnoughts and to the Greek campaign, where it's now September of 1923, which is, yeah, pretty helpful actually. We've actually have had a little period of peace. So changes to the fleet. Well, the Samos is finished. We obviously have the 3 Lemnos class ships and the 2 Aspis, plus Canaris, of course. I think that's a solid capital ship division for how big we are. I have 5 of the new heavy cruisers, I think, because one of them should be commissioning. No. I still need to build one more. So I've only got 4 under construction. So I will get the last one under construction now. The light cruiser division is pretty much done. We've got 5 Hydras and 5 Nickies. It is the destroyers that we need to look at right now. So we've got all the cost class, which are perfectly capable ships. They may be due a little bit of an update. I'm not going to try and wait for the Mark IV, a 5-inch or anything like that, because that is a long way off. We are about to get some new dreadnought hulls as well, so I will probably have a look at that this episode. Let's hold off on a refit of the cost class. I know they're now over 10 years old, but I'll probably have a look at that later, because the Themistocles class are the ones that need no, not that that need updating first, and they just need replacing at this point, I think. We do have a new destroyer hull, the Destroyer 4, which we are immediately going to slim down, because all destroyer hulls in the game are too fat. We are working on a fix, but for now, they are too fat. So cost is 1,200 tons. 1,500 tons seems reasonable. 35 knots would be lovely. It would make them straight better than a cos. A few comments saying on the last episode, you forgot a bunch of stuff. Yes, I'm still quite tired. After being in hospital earlier this week. I'm still on a very restricted diet as well, which doesn't leave me much energy, so apologies if I'm making mistakes. I'm sure we can fix it in a refit. Famous last words. Right. I can have twin 5-inch guns and destroyer now, which is an interesting option. Now, someone was telling me on destroyer, yeah, it does. On a destroyer, the bloody torpedoes extend your belt. Oh well, that is so much less important on destroyers. I think I'm just going to ignore it. Why destroyers work differently to everything else, I have no idea. That makes no sense to me. It's fine. We can build around it anyway. Maybe I will actually for this one. Put that there. Put that there. Nice wide firing arcs on the 2 forward turrets. Only thing is, I'm not getting a lot of room for my torpedoes. Maybe I don't want to lengthen the ship. Hello? There we go. Let's go for 1750. Also looks a bit better at the front. Because then can fit 2 quad launchers, one here and one here. Perfect. 6 5-inch guns is pretty good, I would say. Especially compared to real-world destroyers. I'm going to go high-capacity HE shells on purpose. Because HE shells on a destroyer, even a 5-inch gun, is probably not going to do very much. 23-inch torpedoes. Sure, why not? We want some armour. I know I'm overweight already because I'm building a destroyer. Of course I am. 1, 3. Don't get any in that. 50 caliber guns. 9% over. I could push up to the maximum size of 1900. It does make them quite expensive. Yeah, try and get the 1750. Cramped. Wow, these are so much more than a cost class. Maybe lower speed slightly, although I'm probably. Oh no, I do get a bit back. Let's go for 32 knots. 15,000 kilometers of range is very good. 12,000 is a bit better. Can we get a little bit of speed back? No. We get stranded crew quarters though. Okay, that's not bad. I don't think. Yes, they're expensive. They're also very capable ships, I would say. You've got 6 5-inch guns with the ability to delete transports, but as well, you know, the AP on that is more than capable of taking out an enemy destroyer. You've got 8 large and dangerous torpedoes out to 11 kilometers. You're reasonably fast. Not incredibly fast, but reasonably fast. You've got reasonable amount of protection. Good range for a destroyer of this era. I think for a mid-1920s destroyer design, that is very nice. So I'm going to save that. Now, of course, these are to replace these guys, which means I want to be building potentially as many as 14 of them, but I don't think that's going to fit. I'm going to build 10 to start with and see how we go. None of them will have names, but I will come up with some names. Yeah, so that will allow me to mothball all of these ships. Actually, I'm just going to mothball the batch 2s because there's a possibility the AI might buy the batch 2s because they've not been refitted. But they definitely are not going to buy these. So I'm going to just scrap them and save some money. I hate scrapping stuff on screen, but there we go. Right. That'll do that. Once this batch are finished, I will build a second batch to replace these. Although I might build an extra one so we have a class of 15. And then we'll have a look at the costs. And yeah, in 2 months or so, we can have a look at the... Although... Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll try and rush the 15-inch Mark III. So we're just about to get 14-inch Mark III. Let's try and rush the 15-inch Mark III. Because that means I can refit all of my existing capital ships, which will take forever. And then I can look into building some brand new ships. Yes, I think that's the best plan. And I now have no money. Tech spending is going to... Tech spending is just not going to happen. It's because I'm trying to build a bunch of destroyers, isn't it? Expensive business building stuff. This is the problem. We're just very limited in what we are able to afford right now. Because we want a modern, powerful navy, but we do not have a modern, powerful economy. Not yet, anyway. Catching the Austrians nicely. But yeah, our fleet is maybe a little bit over what it would be. We're trying to have quite a large fleet on a pretty modest budget. Who are we likely to go to war with soon? Nobody really. They keep telling me about these, but I keep ignoring it because we don't really have anything to gain. But well, maybe Spain actually. Could maybe attack Spain. They only have Spain itself right now, right? Oh no, they don't. They have the Moluccas. Well, that would be nice to pick up. But obviously, at this point, you might be able to take Spain itself. Are they allied to anybody? They don't have much of a fleet to talk about. Not really. Okay, maybe Spain. Possibly. Welcome back. I've rethought my destroyer strategy. I think we need to refine the navy. We need to be more of a modern navy, which means smaller numbers of more capable ships. So I have mothballed almost all of the COS class in the hopes that they get bought. The batch 1 of the new class of ships is almost ready, which means I can scrap those ones. Yeah, I think we just need to. We really need to get a handle on the money situation because yeah, this is. I know I'm building a lot, but yeah, this is pretty crazy. And if we can make some money selling these, that would be helpful. I don't know if their AI will buy them. They might. They might. I don't know. Because it is still a design I have. I've never refitted them. And I think this is a Destroyer 3, which is still a hull that is current as far as we're concerned. But yes, try and do that. I did threaten Spain, but they paid me off, which is actually kind of helpful. Economy's still growing nicely. Just about to cross 80. Yeah. I kind of like a war with the Netherlands, but again, having to wait for, the natural course of relations. I'm not going to try and force anything. Welcome back. I'm building some destroyers for Arabia, which is why my money is currently negative. I've been trying to sort it out. I'll pull this back to 50% because I'm about to start some new construction. And that construction is actually going to be refits because I now have the 15-inch Mark III, which means the Lemnos, the Aspis, and the Samos can all get upgraded. And then once that's all done, then we can look into the potential of a new ship. We definitely do have new stuff. We've got Battlecruiser 5. We've got Dreadnought something or others. With loads of stuff. It's just... yeah, now is not the time for us to be building ships from scratch. Or at least it doesn't feel like it is. Things are relatively peaceful for Greece anyway. So let's have a look. We get those ones. Okay. Oil. Gear determinants. What's diesel? Prop shaft and armour. Yeah, this isn't a crazy upgrade by any means. It's not like we have insanely different text. This is just, I think the rangefinder is probably the biggest upgrade. Plus the entirely new guns. Just move that just slightly, and that should be fine. And then this one is just being plain awkward. Well, the most obvious option is to just remove it and go to triples. Not my preferred option, but it tends to happen with these hulls with, you know, odd shapes on them. Begs the question of what we do with this little space here. Add some secondary guns, I guess. What kind of secondary guns is the question? Probably 6 inches, right? Because we've already got the 6-inch casemates. I think that makes sense. They'll need some armour. Lovely. We've got quite a lot of weight back on these ships. 6 months to refit them. Bloody hell. What are we doing with you? Well, we can get rid of that compromise. That will help. They already have maximum bulkheads. They already have good range. Get another couple of knots of speed out of them. 28 knots pushes them into just about acceptable as a modern fast battleship. King George V, 28 knots, for instance. Then, you know, they're not up to 30, which is what I like, but that'll see them through to the end of the game. 28 knots, 9 15-inch guns. They're pretty small. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Can do that. I don't think we have any new towers are in then. I've got the Advanced Tower 6 currently, which is this one. There is an enhanced version, but yeah, there's. It's not like I have refit towers or anything like that. So I'll save that. It'll take some time to push the ships through that refit process. How much is it per month to do that? 13 million. I'm going to have to do these in series. So this is going to be a slow process. Unlike normal, where I'm just like, yeah, refit all of them all at once. No, I'm going to refit Lemnos, and then Nearchus, and then Papadnikolaou. And then we'll move on to the other ships. So we'll do that. That'll take quite a while. And then by the time that's finished, we'll be looking to build new ships. Economy is still growing. We're now past 90 billion, which puts us kind of a solid medium tier power, I would say. Yeah. Simple as. I have threatened the odd war, but nobody's biting. Ah, okay. It's the Soviets threatening us. Well, I'm going to have to deal with that. Now, we know already that... Oh, my God. Okay, there's a lot of wars going on all of a sudden. Oh, okay, I should have waited until I had this. Oh, well. It's fine. All the Lemnos are in for refit. Oh, we're about 5 months away from getting that done. What's the next thing? To check. The Soviets. Who are you at war with? Please don't just be me. Nope, you're also at war with Britain. Fine. and nearly France. So you have other things to worry about, which means we can probably go immediately on the offensive. If you're at war with Britain, you probably can't send any ships our way. Aside from what you have in the Black Sea, which is F all. So we should just immediately go bully you, right? Lemnos. Off you go. Seeing as you've just been refitted. Oh, we also have a bunch of money. So I should just get all the other ships done now. So let's get the Aspis and the... So basically the refit program is being moved forward on an urgent basis. We need these ships ready to fight. This one should be a bit easier. We don't have Turtleback. Don't have geared turbines too, or anything like that. Simple stuff, 2 months. Yes, approve. And then we'll get the Samos done as well while we are here. Although she might be a slightly more complex refit. I do see this more as just getting them ready for action. Yeah, this is going to be super minor in terms of that. However, yeah, this is going to have to change to this. This can be shifted though. She's going to add refit time, but it's fine because we can add another one. Although actually I can probably completely redo that. Can we get just like a... Honestly, really... that one's quite fun. There we go. Just try and keep the height down a bit. There we go. Lovely. We get you up to 28 knots. Maybe. Maybe we're going to have to lose something else to do that. Oh, yeah, you could go to Turtleback. Just going to add a little bit of weight. Unfortunately. But I really like you to be able to keep up with the other ships. Hilariously, we can reduce beam and put the ship on a diet. Actually makes it smaller. I can. Okay, let's take these side guns off. That's unfortunately that barbette no longer fits. But maybe it will at just 0 beam. Can't believe I need 4%. Just to get it in. No, I don't. Perfect. Yeah, we save a lot of weight by taking those off. And I could get her up to 30 knots if I wanted. There we go. Yeah, just that's fine. Just trimming bits off your ship. Yeah, we're just going to rely on those centerline. Because that's 9 6-inch guns aside. Which is pretty much what we had here. They're all at the back, so there's no secondary fire forward, but such is life. This is happening slightly sooner than we expected. We just need these ships on the front line. Right, the F now. I'm going over. Which one is going to take the longest? You and you. There we go. And we'll juggle that to get them out as fast as possible. This will have to go to maximum. The fleet will obviously need to go to sea control. And now I'm losing money. Get back on this. No. Get back on this a little bit, just so that we're still making a smaller loss. Right. Lemnos is going to go out and hit Crimea. And well, let's see what happens. Well, there's their fleet. So they could cause us issues over here, but yeah, we won't be able to take them on straight away. Welcome back. Obviously, the problem with fighting the Soviet Union, or Russia, is that they have a massive army that I can't do anything about. Once again, they're using the tactic of sitting their fleet off in the Arabian Sea and doing nothing, which is a choice. I, however, am thinking if I take southern Russia, that will cut off this offensive here. And maybe cause the Russians to worry about retaking southern Russia instead of, doing anything else. So if I grab Crimea, Ukraine, it also means oil for me. And then, assuming I'm able to secure that, and I don't have to do counter-invasion of Georgia, we can go off and blow up their fleet, perhaps. We'll need to wait and see. There's been no battles at all, though. Don't know what they're up to. Okay, quick update. We've taken southern Russia, which is hilarious. We should be able to take Georgia back, no problem. They are trying to push on Crimea, which I assume will go very well for them. Unless, of course, we move in and nab Ukraine, which is my next job. Once that's done, we're going to head through. We're going to blow up their fleet, and we'll retake Iraq, which they are about to capture. Yeah, I think that should, in theory, work. It's just going to be a fairly long land war, which is the most boring thing, content-wise, possible. Welcome back. I'm getting a bit frustrated, to be honest. There's nothing I can do against the millions and millions of people that the Russians have access to. And because I have no way to attack Azerbaijan, Armenia, or now Eastern Turkey, I can't get access to any of this stuff. Like, I'll be able to take Ukraine, but by the time I take Ukraine, they'll take southern Russia back. They might even have taken southern Turkey. It's just, it's incredibly irritating to fight against, and it's supposed to be a naval game. So, yeah, definitely one of the things I want to do, well, I will be wanting to do moving forward for a long time, is to completely rework how land combat works by basically taking the old system and throwing it away. Army force, army logistic, none of it makes any sense. It should be, being a naval game, entirely due to naval stuff. So I think I have an idea for how to do that. I will talk to the Duke because I will need his help, because this is completely ripping out a section of the game effectively. Just so annoying. And it takes forever. The turns are taking forever because of all of this as well. frustrating. Right, welcome back. I got really fucking pissed off with this shite. So I have made some adjustments. I'm not particularly familiar with save game editing, but it is something you can do easily enough. If you have something that can handle reading the files, Notepad++ can do it. So I have removed these provinces here from Russia's control, and I've basically reset the war, given that there haven't actually been any battles between us. So I removed all of their offensives and basically pushed it back. So this is our defensive line here. I didn't try and remove the Ukraine invasion. I removed all the victory points just to sort of sort that out. They are immediately going to start an army offensive, and there's not too much I can do about that, but I'm kind of hoping that we're just able to piss them off with that. So I am now going to go back to the original plan, which is to go and attack their fleet, which is over here. Because really the only reason I was invading over here was to prevent invasions here. Yeah, I could have gone in and like adjusted this stuff, but looking into the saves has given me a few ideas on how we can improve how army invasions, or army in general, works, and that is basically just removing army from the game and making it 100% naval. Right. War continues, and we finally get a battle, which is what I was actually wanting to do, because it should be based on naval engagements, not on whatever this shite is. So they have... they're a little bit lightly armed, I would say. Very expensive. 10 18-inch guns. Love it. Right, but this is what I was wanting, an actual battle. So yeah, you might consider it cheating, and I mean it is, fair enough, but it was just unfun. It's like, oh, I can't go to war with Russia because of land stuff, and land combat is just the stupidest thing in this game. And it did teach me, I would never have dived into the saves normally, I just would have gotten annoyed. So, yeah, I think it's okay to do that. I hope people don't mind too much. If you are really irritated, I do still have the save itself. Right. You follow. You can just get out of here. There we go. And everyone form up behind the flagship, which is the Samos. Because, yeah, the way army works is it's localized to a province. So rather than the Greeks, deploying their army along the border, which is what they would do in real life, they can't do that. And it's bordering a Russian province, which has, all of that shite just needs to go. And replaced with something much, much simpler, based on what the Navy is doing. Right. What have you got? The Moskva. Good grief. It's a fucking pre-dreadnought. Or a semi-dreadnought or something. What is this? 20 knots. What? Why? Why does this ship exist? I hate it. This is just crazy. But at least it's funny. 18-inch Mark 1s guarded by a 10-inch main belt. Cordite and Dunite. My goodness me. Well, okay. At least the Russians are spending a similar amount of money to us. Our line still sorting itself out. We're still quite a long way away from the enemy. And yeah, my main reason is this battle would not be happening if I had not gone in to fix the saves, because I needed my fleet to just run around trying to counter invade, and yeah, it was just stupid. So I feel bad, but the game should feel worse. Yeah, we use some high explosive to find the range, that's fine. We do have a slight range advantage, but the accuracy just isn't there for a long-range firefight. Oh, they spotted the destroyer. Zzz. Suppose we do need to get rid of them. Actually want Knossos to detach and move around the back of the line. I'm assuming they don't have the range. No, we're just outside their torpedo range. That's a hit. No, no. It's hoping for one. There's a hit. Who did that? Thermopylae. Nice. And again, by Lemnos. Not enough to sink that ship, but should be easier to hit now. They're not bad destroyers, actually. Quite like them. Obviously, sharing the same weakness of all destroyers. Once they take hits, they become a lot easier to deal with. However, rather than playing around with them, main guns onto their capital ships, please. Secondary guns, for a reason, we have crossed their T, which is lovely. Oh, bloody hell. What was that? An 18-inch gun actually hit one of my ships. Peel off. Oh, bloody hell. Where'd they come from? Well, destroyers, clearly. Must have snuck into range when I wasn't paying attention. Destroyed the forward tower on the Moskva. Aspis, you need to peel away more. She's not badly damaged, but she's damaged enough that she needs to rethink things. There's the heavy cruiser. Knossos. Okay, I think we're okay. Fire control out on Moskva. Moskva is cycling by the looks of it. Right. Move that way. Knossos actually like you to turn and go after the other cruisers. You have torpedoes. That needs to go. Yeah, for the destroyers. So much going on already. Well, Krieg certainly, yeah, exploding. However, I think did their job, funnily enough. Knossos, can you finish off the destroyers, please? I'll keep an eye on what our ships are doing. Wow, they're coming in incredibly close. And then turning broadside. Not sure about that. Oh, they got away with that. Just. Did take some hits though. You continuing to sink destroyers for me? Yeah, she did take the damage. Not severe, but not great. Comes another salvo. Nah. Wobbly? What can you do? Yeah, Russian ships are holding in terms of their armour. Right, Knossos. Are there any other, like, destroyers? Well, there's another armoured cruiser over there. You can go and engage her. Going to leave them on local control for now. All guns on the battle cruiser. Motley's taking a little bit of damage to her steering gear. What's going to have her not disengage technically, but she's going to leave the line. Come on, Samos. Got a good hit there. Ooh, you destroyed a gun on the battle cruiser. Who did that? Fuck Nicholas. Bloody torpedoes. Of course you do. Let's get in there. Oh well. Damn the torpedoes. Ooh, good hit. Main belt then. Bloody hell, what just hit you? What just hit you? Oh, one of the battleships just got annoyed with you. Right, fair enough. You can join the line. Proper line of battle stuff here. Oh, big hit. Yeah, she's going down. Surprisingly, it didn't explode, although all of her turrets are out. So maybe I missed that. Yeah, got her. Oh, Moskva exploding. Oh, big hits. Knossos chipping in. Right, let's come about and finish them off. They've taken a fair old beating, those two ships, but they're not out of it. As we come alongside, we should be able to get rid of them. Yeah, it's more like it. Still shooting back. Somehow. They just hit me with a gun they don't have. Through the casemate on the Samos, apparently. I don't think she has. How did she take the hit? Well, they surrendered. Okay. Well, scuttled the ship. I wonder if we could change that to abandon ship rather than surrender, because it would be more accurate. Got him. See, when you can easily defeat the enemy's navy, that should be it. Cool. So, with that victory, see again, they'll just push here. Can I quickly push through a peace treaty? Ideally, I can. I will actually give them Ukraine back as part of that peace deal, even though I don't have to. As in, I will go into the save and give them Ukraine back, just so that I'm not blatantly cheating. And then, yeah, I'm going to have a chat with the guys about, yeah, my potential idea for reworking army invasions and stuff. Yes, we do get a peace deal. I'm not going to take anything off them. I will take the money. And in return, I will give them Ukraine back. So effectively, what that means for us is not quite a white peace. We get Armenia and Azerbaijan, which I had no way of actually attacking. And yeah, I'm going to have to seriously rethink how land invasions work, because I mean they've been a problem for years. I mean, ever since they were introduced, let's be honest. But they're getting a little bit silly in the way that they play. And I think that's particularly in extended because, you know, if you're playing, say, as Denmark and Germany invades you and takes you immediately, that's no fun. You're supposed to be playing a naval game. So that's currently my thinking. Anyway, I'm going to go fix this. Apologies to Ukraine. We will take it eventually, but yeah, for now, we will give that back to Russia as part of the peace deal. And I think that is balanced. I sink Russia's fleet. I take 2 provinces off them. Rather than them just charging down here, even though their army logistics... Yeah, that's more realistic. 3. Because, yeah, that... As soon as Russia builds 1 ship, it goes straight to 100%. And, yeah. Anyway, enough waffling from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Bye for now.